welcome to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing all of my custom Godzilla figures I made. We're going to be starting off with probably my first custom figure, my custom Godzilla 1998. You can see it's not movie accurate. That's because I broke his head sculpt on my original version of this guy. So now he doesn't look movie accurate, but articulation, pretty. Well, it basically just has the body of the Hammett collection, Convetosaurus. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, but that's what I used to make this figure. I'm basically reviewing that Hammett collection dinosaur, but I just added some spikes and some paint to match. I was trying to go on a mixture of the 1998 Godzilla and the series of it, kind of like mix up the colors. I turned out pretty well. The colors are pretty good, but the looks of it is okay. You can see some of the clay as well that I used, because I used non-drying clay. I think I should have used epoxy sculpt. I might actually remake this figure, maybe, but I give it a rating probably 4 out of 10 at most on this figure. Well, not really, I just painted it and stuff. My custom Tiamat. When I got Tiamat, it was all loose. She still is pretty loose. Detail wise, the color scheme is really good. I think maybe I should have just done the scale a bit darker, because in the movie it's kind of black, not like dark greenish. Then I saw some concept art on Tiamat. I tried to go for that, but it turned out like this. I tried to paint the eyes. They're okay on this side, and that side, well, self-explanatory. But this figure, pretty good. I like it, except it's loose. But overall, I don't care. It's a really good figure. Oh. Take that back. I'd be rating this probably, again, 4 out of 10. Look the other way. Up next is going to be my custom Godzilla X Kong Mothra. Detail wise, pretty good. The wings are really nice. I used the body of Jack Specific 2-pack Godzilla King of the Monsters. Originally this Mothra was red, but I just printed out some wings and just glued them on, which made it look better. Then I gave her a new paint job. I gave her a new paint job on the whole body. I gave her antennas too, which I did alright. But yeah, that's all really I did, just printed out wings and an easy, simple paint job. Overall, I give this figure a solid 8 on looks and everything. Yeah, solid 8 on this custom figure I made. Then Another figure I made is my custom Skar King figure. This figure is one of my personal favorites because on how well I did it. Basically, I gave him a ball joint on the head. I used a Lego ball joint and socket. Then I used some cloth to make his custom neck piece, which fits perfectly. I also have his custom roaring head, which I don't like. The looks on it is weird. I tried to make his roaring face, but it's ugly. It's just off-putting. Yeah, I just don't use that. I just use his regular head. Then for the whip, I use bendy wire. This is actually my 2.0 version of the Skar King's whip. I just upgraded it. It's longer, really posable. Because again, I used bendy wire, cut a little bit right here. Did some dry brushing on it, a little bit of brown to look at more a bony texture and look. Then we have the Shimo crystal. I sculpted it with some epoxy sculpt, and I also made it removable. So then Skar King can hold it. Just place it on his hand. And there we go. He's holding the Shimo crystal. I also gave Skar King ball joints on the both hands. Put some cloth around it to cover them. Yeah, they're pretty easy to make. I also painted him and gave him a new extra layer of paint because it was coming off because of the whip, because it kept scratching his chest. You can actually see some of it coming off. Overall, this figure, I probably rate it a 9 out of 10. Hey, it looks better than the crappy SH Monster Arts. And actually, since this figure is pretty well and good, I might not actually upgrade. I think I might just keep my custom Skar King figure. Yeah, pretty nice. Up next, we have my custom Gigan, the Showa Gigan. Gave him a paint job. Articulation wise, 3 joints on the tail. I did not hide them as well as other custom figures. Joints on the hands or elbow, legs. Again, I use Lego ball joints for. Actually, I use Lego ball joints for all my custom figures. And a Lego hinge on his mouth. But it looks weird when I open it wider. So I just open it like this. The maps, I really open it. Detail wise, pretty plain paint. Kept some of the gold on his chest and wings, tail. Add some extra silver to make him look shinier. painted more extra red on his visor, and I tried to give him articulation on his hinges by his beak, and I decided not to because I cannot make tiny joints for it. He has a swivel on his neck. I sadly do not give him neck articulation. Overall, this figure, a 7. It's not bad. It's not bad, and it's not the best. So, yeah. This is my custom Gigan figure. I might upgrade to the SH Monster to Gigan, because Gigan is one of my favorite Godzilla villains. Now, my other custom figure is one of my favorites. My custom Skullcrawler. I used a bootleg vinyl figure for the base. Painted it to give him articulation on the mouth. He has 3 joints on his neck. So he can look up that far, down this far. And the joint on his mouth, which allows him to open that far. He has 3 joints on his arm or leg. I don't know how a Skullcrawler works. And you could see I did add some napkins and stuff to add more friction to the joint because they were a bit loose. The articulation is pretty good. I did hide the joint really well in this, but then I couldn't really hide them along the way. The tail has about, I think, 6 segments on it. Allows him for a bunch articulation. I did sculpt the tail for it to be at an angle, which I think I don't like anymore. I regret sculpting it at an angle. But that's really it. The paint, just some dry brushing with white. Did some dry brushing of white for his skull and some paint he has along his body. Draw his eye, but I think he looks better without his eyes showing. But this figure is really, I wanted to make it smaller, at least like smaller to compare to my High Toys Kong, but he turned out to be pretty big. This is probably my second biggest figure I have. I rate this figure probably a 9 out of 10. The only reason I did not give it a 10 out of 10 is because of the joints. They're a bit loose, but with the help of some napkin, paper, and stuff, it allows him to have more friction and make him less loose. Moving on to my custom Shimo figure. I did, just by looking at it, you could tell the spikes aren't accurate, as well as her nails. They look a bit better with black nails. Articulation, joint on the legs, and gotta move this one slowly because I just repaired that one. It broke. I'm not repairing this one again. And I did see Haya reveal their Shimo figure. I might pick that up. That's how well and accurate it looks. And because it's better than the crappy, expensive SH Monster Arts. I don't hate SH Monster Arts, but you could tell they need some improving on their pricing and stuff. I did use some cloth to cover up the joint on her neck. mouth. Then we have 4 segments on her tail, which I think her tail is a bit too short. So, crap, I broke it. Well, that's fine. I'll fix it. Paint, you could look. Did some layers of paint, a lighter blue and a dark blue on her spikes. Yeah, pretty good figure. Ignoring the tail that broke. This figure is probably a 7 out of 10. Consistent. The joints, and it's pretty small comparing to my other figures. I did use the Playmates body for my custom Shimo, so of course it's small, but yeah, I like this figure even though it's small. Bootleg Mechagodzilla. Not really a custom. I just added a bit of some red because it was plain with all the metallic paint I had. Added some metallic red to it. Play some parts of his body. The head sculpt on this figure is really good, as I reviewed it in a past video. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for a bootleg. And since it just has some extra red on it, and yes, the lighting is kind of crappy. Yeah, my lighting is kind of crap. But yeah, this figure is a 10 out of 10. Consisting of it being a bootleg. But who cares? Sometimes bootlegs can't be good. Okay, moving on. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Just the head sculpt. I sculpted it myself. I should have added a bit more detail, but I don't know. I was struggling with this figure, making it. But, and then the joints. You could see they're not hidden, so he looks weird. But the paint and application and articulation is pretty good. There's about 6 segments on the tail, so he can really have great articulation on the tail. And then double joints on his legs, in which I used smaller Lego joints because I didn't have the bigger joints for it. So I used what I had. Yeah. He has a single joint on his arm and 2 joints on his neck, so he can look down that far, up that far. And another joint on his jaw. I did use some toothpicks for the bone thingies by his jaw, on his cheek actually. I give this a 5 because of the looks, but the articulation is really good though. And I like the figure and I don't like it. The only reason I don't like it, like I said, the head and how bad I tried to hide the joints. Moving on. Again, how many times did I say moving on? I don't know. Next, we have my custom High Toys Kong from the New Empire. The only thing, it's a custom because I did some dry brushing on his beard, which you can barely see right there. And painted his silver tooth right there, but I'll show you on his other head. You can see him better. But the Beast Club, I actually did really well. It has broken a few times, which I just glued the parts back on, so it's fine. But it looks really, really good. I did use some construction paper, but it's not holding good. It's kind of fragile from the straps, but it actually looks almost like the official Hyatt Toys Beast Glove Kong from far away. Like I said, I painted his silver tooth, which you could see right there. And I did some dry brushing on his beard, and that's really what I did on my custom Kong. Well, it's more of a custom Beast Glove Kong. Then up next, we have my custom Godzilla X Kong Dino Empire Evolved Godzilla. I had to really decide if I wanted to make my pre-evolved Hyatt Toys Godzilla into the evolved version. And I think I did pretty well on him. I did take apart a Playmate's Godzilla to add his spikes on his tail. Use some epoxy sculpt to stick them on. You could see it's sloppy, but yeah, you can also see the paint is also a bit sloppy. But, and then another sloppy thing of this figure that consists is probably just applying the spikes on his elbow as well, his chest. I didn't really sculpt, because I just slapped a piece of epoxy sculpt clay and just smoothed it and try to blend it. It looks fine. Then the head, it looks really good. I did paint the teeth and the inside of the mouth. Right there. This figure is probably, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Since the sloppiness of some of the sculpting on this figure is a bit okay. This figure does not have any upgrades, it's stock. I do want to get the neck upgrade for this guy, but I don't have a 3D printer, so that's a problem. But I do like this figure. I actually did it pretty well. Yeah. And then finally, my biggest figure that I have that I probably just upgraded and not really a custom. My Super 7 Destoroyah. This guy's humongous. He does not fit when I'm animating stop motion film. He takes up a whole bunch of space on my display shelf. This guy is humongous. But I do like this figure, even though I poke myself a bunch of times around this horn everywhere. He was extremely tight out of the box as well. I could not pose him really well or anything. But ignoring all that, the custom part I made for him, since Super 7, I don't know why they choose alternative heads to swap. I think that's stupid and annoying for a stop motion animator like me. To swap heads in frames and swap it back on. It's annoying. But to fix that problem, I gave him a joint on his jaw, which is actually really helpful for me. Taking a closer look, just move the joint. It's hard to do it with only one hand. there you go. You can look, see the joint I use right there. And cut his jaw off, his bottom jaw off. Again, I used a Lego ball joint to attach it. So, yeah, this figure, or custom part I made for this figure, is really helpful for me. And looks so much better. Although, when you open the mouth too wide, he looks weird. So I have to limit on how far I open the jaw. And I think that's really all my custom figures I have. Don't forget to like and subscribe for another video in stop motion film I make sometimes. Stay tuned, I guess. Don't have any videos I'm thinking on making. So leave a comment on what should I do next. Review, stop motion, or use my stupid Transformers. I don't like them. I'm actually selling my Transformer figures. If you guys wanna, buy them, just let me know. I will sell them. Yeah, that's really it. Like I said, subscribe or I will find you and kill you. Bye.